Hi friends, before we start this episode, I just wanted to let you know that here in From Someone Who Gets It, we have raw, vulnerable conversations, and sometimes those conversations can trigger others. I want to let you know that in this season, we touch on suicide, infertility, PTSD, and everything in between. So if those are some subjects that are triggering to you, I just want to let you know that you're heard and you're seen and you're not alone. This podcast is for you, and I hope you join us. Hi everyone, welcome to From Someone Who Gets It, a podcast about life, mental health, and everything in between. I'm your host, Marcela, and this season I'll be sitting down with some of my favorite people having raw, vulnerable conversations about goals, dreams, life, and mental health. Every Monday you can find our episodes on the Cultura Talks channel, and I hope you join in.
Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of From Someone Who Gets It. Today I am really excited because we are sitting down with probably my favorite person. If I talk too much about it, I'll start crying, and we haven't even gotten into the episode yet. So I'm sitting down today with my incredible fiancé, Eddie Fuentes.
So that's the day one.
I kind of want to start from the beginning,
Right.
but without going too much into it, because I feel like our love story has so many different chapters in it.
Right.
But for those who don't know, we met doing a show called The Amparo Experience. That's where we met and we became friends. And then the love came after. But something that was really important to me from the beginning was our friendship. We were very good friends.
1000%.
And we communicated. Like, that was our big thing. Our friendship foundation was based on communication. And
Which
then,
it should be, right?
Right. And then everything came after. So I kind of want to talk a little bit about that, because we can talk about our love story all the time, but I think there's parts that are so important to me that I really wanted to. And you're going to see him. Oh my God. You guys are going to...
Are you crying, dude? No, you're crying.
You're going to see him. Guys, you're going to see him with a smile. I don't know why, but for some reason, he looks at me and can't stop smiling. So then I'll get shy and nervous. So there's going to be so many emotions.
Oh damn, dude. Yeah. It's very emotional already.
With this pod. But so yeah, we became friends instantly. I think that we connected both being from Hialeah.
Yep.
That
was definitely a highlight and a checkbox.
Yeah.
I was like, oh wow, respect.
Yeah, you came in and I remember, it's funny because I always say I remember the first time I saw you. It was, you guys came in to a rehearsal and you were decked out head to toe Miami Heat gear. And I literally looked at you and I was like, oh, that's a Hialeah Chico right there if I've seen one. And I was like, oof, tremendo papi, let me tell you. But
thank you.
Then I just got to actually talk to you and I was like, wait a second. People guys like this still exist in the world of who want to really just sit down and get to know you and your story.
I 100%. That to me was, everything. I wanted to get to know you, right? There was a lot of common interest, and again, stunned, right? When I saw you perform, right? It was I don't know. It's what you kind of you see in movies and you see in.
So what you're saying is it was love at first sight.
It was love at first sight. Yeah.
Oh, stop.
But again, it's about, to me, it's about what I'm saying, what turns me on, and it's not to get crazy about that conversation, is that, seeing people within their power, right? And then seeing you within your space and your greatness, right? It's just dope. You know what I mean? That's what I think a partnership should be, give and take, like any partnership. When you lose, I should lose. And when you win, I should win. Or vice versa. When you're winning, I'm winning, better said. And then I don't know, just that
I understand it. That weird bond that
it was.
You
It
share.
was. It was a bond.
Instant.
It was an instant bond, and it was weird to feel that. And weird, again, most positive way of saying it. It was just odd that it was an automatic connection.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, like that can't really happen. You know what I mean? Like that automatic connection can't happen. And then, you know, I'm meeting all the cast members and everybody, and that's a whole new world to me too. And and involving the hospitality world within a theater space, I thought was really just like innovative, creative, just like interesting, right? Like a different level of my business, I guess,
mesh together,
meshing to another world that I didn't even know like could be a possibility. And then so meeting everybody. Then with you, it's like, damn, you know, from Miami, this and that, low key, like back in the day, stalker. You know what I mean? Like we'll look at things.
It's funny because you changed your Instagram handle,
right?
And I think years ago I got like a DM from you, and it was like Dolly Cooper or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, and I was like, who is this guy? I don't even know who this guy is.
So yeah, you know, local celebrity too.
Stop.
So
Robbie, you hear that? You heard that, right? Just so say it one more time.
Local celebrity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I you know, there's certain individuals again within the community that you know, and maybe because of my ties with Finca and things like that, like I was privy to that universe. You know what I mean? To your universe, and then nothing, man. Yeah, it was just collision, and then getting to know each other and the dynamic of just talking. Like,
yeah, I want to get into that because it's like, okay. We used to have these things, which we always say we have to get back to it. And I honestly, after we're moving right now, and that's literally has been the bane of our existence, has been moving.
Oh, that's been fun.
Yeah. So once that finishes, I feel like we can get back to a place like that.
Like
but
you can get really close to somebody that you don't even think you're that close to.
When you
gotta
if you
move.
need to test your relationship, ladies, if you want to know if this is the man for you, move. You're gonna want to kill him. It's gonna happen. But if the end of the night you're like, I still like sleeping next to him, it's worth it.
Which is that too. Like always try to make sure to resolve whatever you need to resolve before you go to sleep.
Yeah.
That is something that I guess it sounds cliche because everybody talks about it, but I think it's 1,000% true.
But it goes back to communication. So we used to have these things called car confessionals.
Right.
And we would literally just sit in either your car or my car, and we would talk about our day.
Right.
And I want to share a story because of this is either one, I knew the first time that we hung out, like I'm like, oh, I'm gonna marry this guy. My witch powers, and you know that I'm a little bit of a witch. So like, but this conversation and this moment showed me like, oh, this is different than anything I've ever experienced. And we were talking one night, and I've dealt, you obviously, you know, but for those who don't, and we'll get into it in other episodes, but you know, dealing with an eating disorder for many, many years, it's not something that I thought defined who I was, but it was just something that I felt that if I was in an intimate relationship with a person, or if I was becoming friends with someone, it was something that I wanted to share with my friends, with people who I'm intimate with close people in my group, because if I do weird things or whatever it is. So one of our earlier car confessionals, I mentioned to you that I've dealt with depression and anxiety, and that I dealt with an eating disorder. And we touched on it, and then we kept on talking about whatever it was we talked about for the rest of the night. And then next day we were hanging out, and you said to me, you know, last night I went home and I started researching like eating disorders and binging and purging and all that stuff, because I've never really met someone who's dealt with this kind of things, and I just wanted to know what it was. And at that moment, I don't even know what you said after that, because at that second, I thought, oh my God, this guy who we are just becoming friends, doesn't really know who I am, took a second of his day to say, I don't understand what she's going through, nor do I understand this topic, but I'm gonna do everything in my power to make sure that at least when she's talking to me, I
can understand what you're saying, like, 'cause
Right.
you're speaking English, but to me it was a little bit Mandarin. You know,
Yeah.
like I didn't. You hear about it. I think there was like a Saved by the Bell episode or something. I mean,
Yeah.
like there's things that you hear about it, but I personally didn't, deal with it or whatever.
Right.
Like I had my food things too. I was a fat kid, for a good portion of my life, and thankfully I got tall, and I thinned out. But like, yeah, for me, everybody's like, there's a weight conversation in my household that I'm a little familiar with that language, but like eating disorder, I didn't understand what that meant.
Yeah, and
Because I love food.
Right.
So like, there's no disorder. The disorder is that I love it so much.
Yeah. No, and so what was crazy is in that moment, my brain was like, oh, this is different.
Right.
This is someone that's not going to judge you based on whatever you're dealing with. And then
yeah.
that goes, because you said, I love food. And I want to go into like really quick of like, you've changed that for me of like, I was someone who was like terrified to eat in front of people, like, or just like didn't understand like what the joy of food was. Like I would see people literally enjoying their food and I'm like, what are you doing, dude? Like, how do you enjoy that? Just eat it and let's go. And you romanticized it for me that it's changed my whole relationship with it. But it was in that moment that I said, oh, holy shit. Like, where do you meet people like this that are still, not just superficial?
I always, I think most people want to help people. For me, I like always try to understand, not to judge individuals. Especially when they're good people, you know what I mean? And again, you don't know who's bad or who's good. So you always, at least from my perspective, you open kind of heart. Like you welcome everybody, you get to know them. And then, when they cross you, then you're eliminated. But I also wanted to connect, and again, just different. Everybody goes through their chapters, and I was going through a chapter in my life as well. Damn, this is a super emotional fucking meeting. Conversation.
Welcome to From Someone Who Gets It.
Yeah, like my
a
palms are
podcast
sweaty.
that's
Like,
gonna
dude,
bring things out of you that you didn't even know.
So then, which is true. I didn't even think about that, of what my state of mind was at that time. And yeah, just wanted to connect. I wanted to connect, and it just happened to like, I don't know, man. It's gravitational. We were talking about magnets earlier. Like it was just one magnet was finding the other, but for that to happen, I think it has to be like, I don't know too much about science, but positives and negatives, right? To find each other. So yeah, it was.
So we started with those. We started with car confessionals, and then one thing that I loved that was really, it went more into when we started really becoming more than friends was the 4 agreements, which is, I believe, what our relationship foundation is based on.
Thank God.
And it was a book that you introduced me to. And when we first started like dating, we would pick up certain things. So if I would say something to you, and yesterday we had like a little
assumptions
tiff.
is right now the issue.
Yeah.
Not the challenge.
Yeah. So we had a little tiff yesterday, and I took it back to the 4 agreements, and I took it back there because that's where our foundation lies. And it's like the reason that we've always been so great, and like no relationship's perfect. I'm not gonna sit here and like, oh, we don't fight. We're like, no, when life gets hard,
There's
things
friction.
happen.
There's friction. Yeah.
But you
also explode to the people that are
that you're safest with,
right? That you're most comfortable and things like that, because like you won't pop off like that. Let's say in a certain meeting or a certain thing, because of again, yeah.
So if you don't know the 4 agreements are be impeccable with your words.
Be impeccable with your word. Don't make assumptions.
Don't take anything personal, and always do your best.
Right. The last one's the one you should always attempt.
And so when we first started like talking and we're in those stages, if I came in hot or you came in hot or one of us like our energies were off, we would always ask each other,
hey, are you projecting? Am I assuming?
Yeah.
And that's how kind of we built like this trust. And I think I'm talking about this, and that's the reason we opened the pod with this, is like, that is what's so important to me in our relationship. And when anybody asks me like, oh my God, I love your relationship with Eddie, like, what's your major thing? I'm like, communication.
It's a fundamental thing that you have to have in every aspect of your life, especially in a like, again, one that you share the most with and that you're most around. You can't stay quiet, right? Like you gotta talk, you gotta over communicate like what's going on. And I want this to last, right? And I want to build the family. And that was the whole, also another premise of my state of mind. Like I'm getting older, right?
Yeah.
And when you see, I mean, I'm not saying the end, that's a little dramatic, but like when you start getting older, you start wanting to like, hey, I wanna build a legacy. I wanna have a partner, you know what I mean? I wanna have these things, right? And yeah, you gotta communicate, because if not, then it gets explosive, and then time invested and all that magic can become very destructive if you let it. And again, to me, it's one of the most important things. Yeah, that book got me out of a lot of dark places in my life. And
fun little note, for our 1 year anniversary, our first year anniversary, I got him this incredible painting from an artist friend of ours, an amazing artist, Tiago.
Yeah.
And on the painting has the 4 agreements on it.
It has me exploded on a canvas.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's sneakers. It's my fundamentals.
Yeah.
No, it was a great piece. I think I was like blown away because it was a surprise, right?
Oh, it was a huge surprise.
I was in awe. I haven't been surprised like that since I was very young. It was amazing.
But he's a Capricorn, you guys. So like I'm like, you give me a surprise and I'm like, like you're gonna see if like my expression with it. Capricorns, no dig to my caps, okay? I love my caps. I love them. You guys are my favorite. But sometimes you don't show your emotion, and that's okay. We're working on that. But so he was very like he didn't speak. Like the man was too stunned to speak.
Oh no, I was speechless. I was just like in awe, the thoughtfulness, right? And then the layers of the painting, and then also at the moment, like me and Tiago were also like connecting hard and getting to know each other. And again, a lot of like things that we're discussing today, like partnerships with not only people, but within their lives and family and like tradition and legacy and like love, and to have all that in my home and then you giving it to me, I was like, whoa,
And also like, it's funny because I say that our love story has different chapters, but I feel like our love story really started in 2020, even though we got together in December 2019. That pandemic.
Oh no. Yeah.
So
1000%.
So I'll share a little story of like how we ended up getting so close. So the pandemic, everybody was aware of it, and we got the news of like everything shutting down for 2 weeks. And I had a therapy session. I'll never forget this. I had a therapy session, and I was in the car, and you were with me. And you were in the car with me, and I'm talking to my therapist, and I'm telling her, I'm like, I'm worried because I see Eddie, and he's still seeing people because you guys were doing the meals for the industry.
Yeah, we're doing meals for industry, first
responders. And at the time, we didn't really know a lot about COVID and any of that, and my mom's diabetic, so she was high risk.
Oh no, yeah, my mom as well, and I wanted to stay away from people.
Yeah, so I was like, well, we're so freshly like in. I don't want to not see you, but I also want to protect my mom. And so I'm talking to Anna about this. Anna was my therapist at the time, and you out of nowhere said, well, what if you move in with me for 2 weeks? It's this lockdown is in 2 weeks. Just move in, you're helping me at the bar, whatever. And then after, you go home. And we were like, oh, dope. That sounds cool. Like, that's easy.
5 years later.
5 years and a ring later, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen.
It was,
if he tells you, nah, I don't want to get married or have kids, just wait until they fall in love and then they realize shit.
Oh, 1000%. Yeah, I was never about that life.
Yeah.
I was never about that life. I don't know, 24, 25, I think I got into the industry and I was like, yo, I found something that I love. This is going to be my passion. I mean, eventually it became my passion, but I really loved it. And yeah, kids and family and also even legacy too. Like it was an afterthought. I just wanted to have fun and I don't know, and be young, you know what I mean? And be within a new chapter in my life at that time. And it was the best. And then, yeah, just something crazy happened like 30 something, like 31, 32, 33, around that age. I saw a dude and his kid and I'm like, yo, I want that.
Yeah.
And then like that thought never
ever crossed your mind?
Ever. It was always pushing kids away. You know what I mean? Like that sounds horrible, but I was coming up in Miami or growing up in Miami that had friends of mine that were 12, 13 having kids.
Yeah. So it was like,
so we're in middle school just out of elementary. You know what I mean? Like we're not just like we're babies.
Yeah.
And then I'm seeing babies have babies and I'm like, whoa, I can't have that. Like, like I can barely like remember to brush my teeth at that moment and like do simple stuff. You know what I mean? And yeah, so it was always every year was like, yo, I can't have kids. And then, when you get like sexually active and things like that, it's like, yo, like I was elite in that health education.
Oh my God.
I was paying attention, man. That's it. I was paying attention. It was the only A that I was getting at the time. You know what I mean?
Enough.
And again, just the truth. I was very, very passionate about like knowing the do's and don'ts and not like, can you curse on this? Can you like say like fucking shit? You can't say
yeah,
no,
dude.
Okay,
that's like part of my everyday vocabulary. Like, what kind of question is it?
Yeah. So
you're just sitting down in my house having a conversation with me.
1000%.
Like where it's not
I said
like
that earlier. This was our living room at one point.
I want to get into, because I feel like we can talk about our love story forever. I can sit here and like talk about that, but I think the main topic I want to like touch on today, there's a couple main ones, but I think one I want to lead into first is we always hear the side of the person who deals with the mental health. I'm trying to do this thing where I don't say struggle.
Right.
So we don't struggle with mental health around here. We deal with it. And we continue.
Palante.
So we always hear like the point of view of the person who is dealing with the challenges of it. And we don't really hear from the partners of those people.
Okay, yeah.
And so that's kind of what I want to dive into right now.
All right, let's do it.
Is kind of like, first of all, getting in a relationship with someone who deals with mental health heavy.
Right.
Because I think there's different cases, and people struggle with anxiety, but it's a very light anxiety, or every season, some seasons are low.
Right.
But, this is someone who I've struggled with an eating disorder, depression, anxiety, OCD. There's a couple different things. So I guess the first thing that I want to dive into is how, when you first dealt with an attack or an episode, did it scare you? Obviously it didn't, because here we are 5 years later, but...
Oh, no, but yeah, no, it terrified me.
Yeah.
No, yeah, this scared me. No.
Yeah.
It was absolutely terrifying, and then I've been around certain things that like people kind of like flip out, but also there's some type of influence as far as like a drug or a vice or something like that. So then, you point at that.
Right.
You're like, oh, it's like the quote, it's the drug or the vice. It's that. It's not the person, right?
Right.
So then like at that moment, I'm like, oh, we're normal. Like,
yeah.
And then something like there's a episode happening. Yeah, I didn't know what to do, and I was asking a lot of questions, and I was just like, for me, I guess it's something that I do now. Damn, there's moments in this too. Like anyway, so that like when I'm scared of something or when something is like kind of terrifying, I don't know why I feel like it's like a light. Like I go towards it and I'm like, all right, so what is this? And I go into how can we fix it? I know that's annoying.
No, it's not. I want to take it because you said that it's not annoying. It's not frustrating that I'm frustrated with you. It's frustrating that it's frustrating with me because you want to fix something that I wish could be like can have an instant fix.
It's right,
and it doesn't.
And my thing is, from my perspective, is that I'm not alluding to that it's an easy fix.
Yeah.
And again, I say this to you a lot, that I'm talking to myself, but I'm talking to you. So that when I'm talking to you, obviously I'm talking at you. So it is towards you, but I'm somehow talking to myself. Like, there has to be a solution. Like, we're not the first human beings. You know what I mean? Like, you did a play. There was like a line like, we're doing the most animalistic thing of having a kid, right? But we have like, we have Amazon and we have all these, different communication platforms and help, right? To do the most basic thing. So we're not the first, is what I'm trying to get at going through these things. Maybe now we're the most connected and we're the most loud about it. And like, so then more people know that we're not alone. Because I feel that I go through a lot of the things that, all the things that you just mentioned that you're going through, I'm also going through, but I didn't even know that I was going through it.
Right. And that's another thing that I want to get into of like, when you are with someone,
I don't even know if that made sense.
Yeah, no, it did. When you're with someone who has mental health issues, challenges. Thank you. I like that better.
Because a challenge you can fix.
Yeah,
it's a bump in the road. So you can either like get better suspension, take out the bump, go around the bump. I don't know. There's always, for me, that's why it's like. What I say, it's not
very
fixed.
Different. Yeah, and we think very different when it comes to this, and that's a conversation in its own. But what do you think is like one of the biggest struggles? Because I'll tell you, for me, one of my biggest struggles, and on the pod with Junior, I talked to him about this, is this constant feeling of like guilt because there are seasons that my depression is like to the point that
paralyzing,
paralyzing, and then there's
which hurts. It hurts because like you really.
And so let's get into that. No, go. I want to hear your point of view on it.
It's just it hurts because like back to the same type of analogy or thought process. Like I'm so confident that like I can will this to the positive, that it's for me like it's sad that I can't. You know what I mean? Like
he's laughing because he's
so like it's hard. You know what I mean? It's hard to do that, and sometimes it's crazy. Damn, look, I'm fucking. It's vulnerable.
It's just it's something I.
So there's large guilt. There's large guilt, and there's guilt, I guess, in both sides, because you wanna, you know what I mean? Like, damn, dude, it's heavy.
No, it's again, the reason I want to talk about.
I wonder if there was bets on the side, like how fast we were gonna cry at each other, because if anybody knows how like passionate we are, yeah, dude, there should have been like a parlay or something, dude. You know what I mean? Like
and someone would have like taken home.
Like, because because I didn't know.
Guys, we like you don't understand. Like it's not that we cry for everything.
Oh no, yeah, I'm a fucking crybaby.
It's just
dude,
that
like it's
there's something.
Being old is. I thought when I was young, like.
But no, I don't think that's it. I think it's just
being
when you're vulnerable.
I guess. Yeah, and being with your significant other. We were talking about this literally on our drive over here. Like, we're only gonna explore. We're only gonna say these things. We're only gonna share these positive moments and obviously challenges, right? These moments, like you're very vulnerable. Like you just, who else am I gonna be vulnerable with? You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I can't. I mean, unless these cameras are on, whatever. You didn't invite me. Like this is not a look that I have in any other space in my life. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like I wouldn't. This is something like super behind the scenes. Like I don't. People that know me, obviously, if you know me close enough, again, I'm very passionate and it's fighting or fucking. You know what I mean? Like I'm sorry, like it's like it's either I love, I'm gonna kill you. Like because it's for me, it's that kind of like it's passion, dude. That's what
No,
passion's
I
about
get
for me,
that.
at least from my perspective. And like you don't got time to be vulnerable. And especially being a man, especially being a Latino man, and being
that's where the stigma comes in, and that's where this pod is different. And that's Junior, when Junior's on the pod, his episode is men have emotions too, and it's
where are
like
the tissues here, dude? Like you
sorry,
have
dude, we don't have tissues
come on,
like
bro,
that.
from someone who gets it. Dude, it should
Listen,
be like
now he's getting nervous. So like when he gets nervous, you guys, he starts like trying to crack jokes. But no, so we talked about how men have emotions too, and because you're Latino, you're taught all that. But going back to like being in a relationship with someone who deals with mental health is not easy.
No.
But I also think that because you've seen a different side, you now understand it.
Oh yeah.
And when you experience something like anxiety or a depression, you look at it in a different way now.
Right, because you respect it, right?
Right.
You understand that it's all the things that we just talked about, and like it's not something to like brush off. You know what I mean? Again, me growing up, like my dad, I don't know. I was old enough not to be drinking out of a bottle, but I think I was. I don't know. I don't want to like fib, but like between 3 and 5. I most likely was 5. And I was still drinking out of a bottle. My dad came home one day, like after working 3 jobs. And in one of those moments, he comes in, he's like, yo, what is this kid doing drinking out of a bottle still, bro? He's like a grown-ass man. I'm like,
Oh my God.
and I'm sitting at the table. He unscrews my thing, gets a mug, throws in the mug. He's like, yo, men drink out of fucking cups.
You see, but the
whole thing, my dad is, my dad was hard. He had to be. It's different. You know what I mean? Talking about the 90s here in Miami, 80s, I'm sorry, 84. Yeah. So like late 80s, 90s, like Miami wasn't an easy place to be, especially Cuban, especially trying to do a decent job. Like my dad came in to this place already. I'm 40. He had me at 40, if not 41. I'm 40 right now. He started a whole new life, new place, typical immigrant story. But yeah, you got to be tough, dude. Like all the people that looked like us at the time were peddling, XYZ, right? Like, the 80s, Miami was built brick by brick. So
we're talking about your dad, and I want to know.
We'll start betting because the waterworks are coming. Go ahead.
Grief is something that we had to experience last year. And I've dealt with grief already. In 2017, I lost my grandfather. And that was heavy. And it hit really hard. But I'm already gonna, I know. Hold on.
No, but it's crazy, dude, because
But losing your dad last year, I think, was a grief I've never experienced.
Grief is a great lesson in life that must be experienced, because it is what it is. You got to experience life and the loss of life, start and finish. And it taught me, how to be more of a man.
But in a like vulnerable way.
No, 100%. My dude left, and it was all of a sudden. And back to, like I said a second ago, bro, we're like all the things that you have to get through and overcome, and you gotta be hard to do it. You know what I mean? You gotta be tough, to say it in a different way. So then to experience that grief, right? It's hard. And you gotta, bro, and you gotta be strong, dude. Because, like, I had to be strong, man, for my mom. Back to the thing that I was talking to you about. When you see somebody that you care about.
But what I thought was something that I tried to work on with you during that process was.
But you can't be like this. You know what I'm saying?
No,
like,
no, I
I'm
know.
I'm signing paperwork. Like, yo, take this dude off the plug. I'm talking to my mom. Like, yo, all positive, this and that. Like, you got to keep it light. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right, and you did.
I'm playing music. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
like,
yeah.
But I am. But that's the vibe. Like, I have to will myself, which is again the lesson, right? The life lesson. You got to make it happen. You got to do it. And when this vulnerable space, because you also allowed me to be in it, but I like you even told me that day, like, yo, just let go, and it resonates. But like outside in the streets, you can't do that shit.
But you see, that's where I
That's crazy. This is dope. What you're doing here is dope. Ooh.
You don't notice it, and I want to talk about this. You don't notice it that losing your
people pay like thousands of dollars for it.
Babe,
Yeah.
losing your dad
Right.
gave you this vulnerability, and then you've had to deal with some depressive seasons, and you've had to deal with some things that you've never dealt with before, which is
crazy that I didn't have that when I had a dude that I could like talk to, and he can probably give me some perspective. I was never, I guess, because he was tough for me. So I was tough.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like I was tougher than I thought because I had the old man. And then like, he left, and I'm like, fuck. Like, yo, how do you do this shit, dog? Like, how do you get the kids and the money and work the 3 jobs and all this shit to coexist, dude? And then I'm like, you can push harder because you have that like safety net. And now I gotta even push even harder because there is no plan B, you know? But sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good. This is what this kind of pod is about, is like talking about either topics or subjects or moments that you didn't realize.
Yeah, cut to her, dude. Don't be cutting to me. I got like shit running out of my nose, dude. Holy shit. Go ahead.
Roby's gonna go get you a tissue.
God, give me a Kleenex, dude. Jesus Christ. Plug. We should get a sponsorship by them.
By
Kleenex, somebody, dude. Yeah.
Stop. But what happens with grief?
Right.
And 2 things can either happen. Grief can either bring you very, very close, or grief can explode you, and something happened where, again, I go back to you being vulnerable because you are so, and I hate using that. And if we have a boy, you and I are gonna have challenges with it, even though you're very open. It's just like the word tough, like just because you show your emotions doesn't mean, I've shown my emotions, I'm not tough.
look, I
don't say anything that's gonna get you canceled, dude.
I'm not gonna get canceled, dude. This is just like how I really feel about it. Like, you know, I know that there's a space for it, and you have to be vulnerable to grow. Because if you don't know your vulnerabilities, then how do you know your cracks or where your sensitive areas are? You know what I mean? Like, you gotta be vulnerable. You gotta be in that space to grow. But at the same time, you gotta be tough. Like, you have to understand that overcoming is, again, a part of life. How you gonna go to a next level if you don't overcome?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the next, you go up this mountain, the next peak, and then it's the next valley, and then you keep on. You're getting tougher, right? Like when you work out, right? You're
getting
pushing,
stronger.
You're getting stronger. So toughness is good. Vulnerability is also good. Vulnerable, like what's going on with you. You know what I mean? Why are you vulnerable? You start asking yourself different questions.
Dealing with all of this and dealing with then having to have some
I just thought that it was being vulnerable was a weakness.
Yeah.
And I disagree with. See, I don't think
Yes.
that being vulnerable is being weak.
No.
Right? You can still be tough and vulnerable.
Right.
You
You
know
can
what I
still
mean?
be
Like,
strong and like
100%. You know what I mean? You want to be, what is it? A warrior monk? Like you want to be able, like, to follow the peace and love and happiness and like just be gardening. Like who really wants to like fight, dude? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, but when it comes down to it, and you have to do it either to protect your family or you have to do it to provide for your family, then you fucking go out there and you're a warrior. You know what I mean? But come
what
on,
do you
dude.
think grief showed you when it comes to like our relationship and love? Like how do you
That you could, that it does exist of somebody holding you down. It's being from Miami and all that, like, it's, shady people, sunny days, right? That's how it goes, I think, right? I don't know, maybe I made that up, but
That's not all Miami people. We love our Miami people.
no, we
We're
love
from
our Miami people, and all
you
the
know?
Miami people hearing me say that would understand that, like, it's true. You know what I mean? There's a lot of shady motherfuckers out there, and they paint a perfect picture. They're all nice, go to church on Sunday, do all their whole thing, and like it's all smiles. But then when you really kind of tap in and you see what these people are, they're not real. It's like, it's you're faking the funk. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it is what it is, but there's also real genuine people, and there's real people that hold you down, and like they call you for free. You know what I mean? They call you like, yo, how you doing? Like, I got people that put me on calendars because they want to make sure they reach out to me. Hey, my dude, are you okay? What's going on? You all right? For free.
Yeah.
Like just to vibe, and they're the first. Those are the first people that have believed in me and even pushed that forward. Like, yo, like, I'm gonna give you opportunity. I'm gonna give you this. I'm gonna love. And again, then you go into the guilt of you gotta make sure to pay these people back, And maybe you do with love and all that. But anyway, yeah, like there's good people and bad people. I forgot why we even went on that. Yeah, I know. I got. See, like, I'll start crying, but I also want to fight somebody. You know what I mean? Like, I see red. I see red.
I want to jump back into being with someone who deals with mental health. What would you say if someone came up to you today and be like, yo, my girl is dealing with depression, anxiety, all these things. Like, I don't know, like, what advice would you have for them? Because I know what advice I would have for someone who's dealing with it. What would you?
For me is, communication, right? Listen, shut up, right? Just shut up. Just you even if you have an answer, just like ingest it so grief and to answer this question, emotional intelligence. Like at this age, figuring out what that means, going to YouTube University, reading about it, and like
ladies, if he is not in tune with his emotions like this, throw him out the door.
Like you gotta have the emotional intelligence to still keep it real. You don't want to, like, especially with your closest person, like lie to them or like, manipulate them somehow.
No, and you do keep it real with me.
Yeah, but have the emotion, keeping it real goes wrong. There's been, really, really bad. You know what I mean? Like time and place, and still sticking to your truths. But maybe, again, listen, shut the fuck up. Just wait a day or two. Find out what you're going to say. Maybe play it out in your head first or say it out loud. Damn, does that sound a little too much?
Yeah.
And then after you have a plan, like, all right, so look, this is what I think. Because at the end of the day, if you don't deal with it, you don't help deal with it, back to, I guess, me fixing it, it's going to just grow. And then it's going to be popping off about me drinking a Coca-Cola or like, using up the salt. You know what I mean? Like, what? I was just eating a croqueta. Why is that? Why are we breaking up because of this? You know what I mean?
Oh my God. Roby, you have questions for us, you said? Did you really or no? No, but
dude.
I was just asking. Like,
hey, so
I could
look. I'll give him a second too, like to think about it. But grief too, right? I remember you asked about that.
No, the question was, by the way, what advice do you have for someone whose partner is dealing with mental health?
Oh wow! So then, so then, wait, say it again.
Babe.
My bad. I'm sorry.
Babe, someone came up to you today,
right,
and said, "Yo, I know that you're with Marcela. She's super vocal about mental health.
Right.
my girl is struggling. What advice do you have for me? Like, what do I?
Yeah. Listen, figure it out, and then also just sometimes you just gotta be there as a rock. Like, you don't have to say anything. You tell me that a lot, and that's again great communication, right? Tell me how you feel. Like,
Right.
even I say like ugly truths. There's different explanations, but that's like, yo, maybe you don't want to hear that.
Right.
Like, yo, just shut up. Yo, just be there to listen to me, and then I might figure it out myself.
Right.
And then you come back to me like, yo, like, let's not even talk about it. So then my advice would be just be, again, emotional intelligence. Like, read the room, listen, figure it out, and then maybe it'll figure itself out. She'll do it, or your partner will do it by itself, Like, for me, it would be like, probably going outside, getting physical, whatever, but somebody else might be something, whatever, like, just listen. Just listen.
Just listen.
Just listen.
At the end of the day, guys,
keep it simple. Just listen.
Just listen. Shut the fuck up. And your girl's always
Especially
right.
about something like this. You know what I mean? Unless you're like, even if you're trained, even if you're a doctor, psychologist, psychiatrist, or whatever, like, I'm pretty sure they'll say the same thing. Like, shut the fuck up.
And
like, if they
listen.
would go to a couple therapist, even though they're doctors, they'll be like, just shut the fuck up. Just shut up. Just shut up and listen, dude.
I want to talk about our wedding.
Oh, let's go.
Oh, Robbie, you heard Robbie's like, shit, sensitive subject. No, honestly, I want to talk about it. We're getting married next year. When?
Facts, let's do it.
Let the people know.
Oh, no, 305. Yeah.
305. Two kids from Hialeah getting married on 305 day. No, I think it's so on brand for us.
Yeah, man, let's
Like,
go.
I didn't think nothing made sense other than that. But I want to talk, the reason I mentioned wedding is because I think that when couples are planning weddings or doing anything, it is rough, because it's just like what happens is money is the main conversation.
Finances?
Is that?
Oh, no, facts.
And it's hard to come by. But what I want to get into is just like, we found this place, you and I together, of like, oh, it's not about anybody else, because we started getting like, we would get into arguments, and the communication wasn't clear about it. But the reason I bring this up is because you deal with a little bit of mental health shit when you're going through these weddings. Like, every girl I talk to who's planning a wedding, who has planned a wedding, it's like, yo, I never had to deal with anxiety in my life before until it came to this. I never knew what depression was until like certain moments. And I think I just want to talk about like how if you find your person, you get married. Like, Robbie can marry us right now. And Robbie, you want to do it right now, dude?
Are you like...
No, you're not. Are you swear? Because if you are,
No, but then we'll get married today. We'll get married today.
Yeah,
we gotta get married 305.
We gotta get married 305.
No, but I mean, when this first came up, like, I didn't make a decision lightly. And like, when I asked you for your hand in marriage, first of all, I never thought I was gonna do that. I know, once again, but it's like, it's such an odd concept to me, which now is my normal, which is crazy, about finding the right person and all that. So then, like, I told you the day that that we got engaged or whatever, like, yo, like, we can get married. Like, that's the whole, for
Guys,
me.
he tells me this at least once a week.
For me, because the thing was, it's
He's
not like,
I'll marry you right now outside.
The thing is like, for me, it wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna, because I know that story. I've seen that story. There's movies about it. Friends, whatever. Like, you ask for the hand in marriage, which is a promise to then get married, and it's like, and then but you can still be single and whatever.
Who said that?
I mean, bro, come
Who
on.
said that?
Come on, dude.
What fucking friends?
Come on,
what
dude.
friend said that? Because if they're like,
Come on,
I'm gonna
bro.
mira el otro, mira el otro.
I'm not making this up. I'm not making this stuff up. So the thing is that what I'm saying is,
We're
like,
gonna edit that out.
oh my god,
That was horrible.
So then, like, that storyline, right, is, again, maybe it's a storyline for a book, but like, if by that time you're not sure, then why are you doing that decision? Like, you know what I mean? Like, for me, yeah, I want to marry you. So then why am I asking you for your hand in marriage? Because I don't know too much about this, and like, I'm not seeing all these romantic
Wait,
comedies.
can you tell everyone what you did before proposing?
What did I do?
You researched how to propose.
Oh, I Googled it. Yeah,
He literally
I Googled it. Yeah,
Googled
why wouldn't I Google it? I don't know.
how to propose.
I had no idea what I was, bro. I had no idea what I was getting into. That's why
Robbie,
I said.
did you Google?
He's like, what need do I get?
No,
No,
he was like,
100%.
what do I need to have?
I started going on YouTube and I started looking at other people getting engaged. Like I didn't know, I didn't understand that concept because that wasn't a
Yo, you
concept
got
for me to
questions
understand.
for us?
Dude, I need the mic. That's the problem.
Need the mic?
Yeah, like, there's not a mic attached. So I can't
You don't need a mic. Just stand right here
Oh, you're
and project,
Cuban
dude.
as
You're,
fuck, dude. Yeah, here.
yeah,
Dude, I
dude, you're
hear
an
him, dude.
actor.
Yeah, dude, you're on the pod, of course. There's echo and everything. So
My
then,
God.
so then, you know, for me, that decision was already like, as soon as I made it, it was a wrap. And I even though I got the ring too, how would it go? I don't think I had the ring. I was thinking about, maybe I should ask her, and like, I think it's something I should do because of the things that I want to accomplish, right? So then I'm like, one of my boys, Hugo, he's like, yo, ask me a question. I'm not gonna get into the question. And I'm like, absolutely. And he's like, all right, so secure the bag. And I was like, all right. So then at that moment, I was like, all right, so I'm gonna marry her. So for me, it's not now a year or 2 years of being engaged and I'm still a bachelor. Like I still have that single fun, right? Like when you're single, you can be different than when you're in a relationship.
as soon as we got engaged, you were like, oh, so I'm married already. Like,
100%.
he says this, you guys.
And when I researched it and all the steps and everything, and you gotta get on one knee, like you're almost like it's like a knighting type thing. Like, all right, cool, then let's go.
No, but it's funny because like when he introduces me to people, like, and I'll every now and then sometimes
Like
I
you're
don't.
still my girl, but then that's
but
I guess I'm formal.
he
I
introduces,
guess.
he's like, oh, my wife, and I'm like, not there yet.
Yeah, or my fiance.
But yeah, it was. So when was the moment? Was there a specific moment that you remember that you're like, oh shit, I do want to get married actually, or actually this is the person that I want to spend the rest of my life with? Because I know exactly the moment.
When we were in COVID and all these things were happening, and then there was a lot of challenges for everybody in the world, but obviously we're together in four walls and we're handling it, right? Every single obstacle that life is throwing at us. So we keep on overcoming these things, overcoming. I'm like, damn, all right. Like we're going through a lot in a very short period of time. Like, a week, you 8 hours of work or 12 hours of work,
Yeah.
X, Y, Z. By the time you calculate how many hours you're with your partner, I don't know, in a month, it could be a couple days, maybe a week. I don't know. But during this process, it's like 24/7.
Yeah.
So, in a month, it's like a year, and like so many things are happening and we're doing it. So when we got out of that, like, I'm like, yo, she can hold me down. You know what I mean? And again, I asked a friend a question and I was like, yo, let's do it. You know what I mean? Let's do it. So then, yeah, for me, it was, I guess, COVID when I started thinking like this is a real thing. And then as soon as I guess for me, it was becoming real. And I was selling my shoes and like, I'm selling shoes to get the ring. And I'm like, okay, so I guess this is what's about. You know what I mean? Like you gotta, always in life, you have to take from something to give to another. I was talking to a friend yesterday about work-life balance. And it's like, I think it's non-existent in my opinion. I think it just has to mesh together. Like COVID, right? You have to just be with each other all the time. And I go that for some people, it's like, I don't want to do that. I'd rather shoot myself in the face.
Yeah, and we're together.
And I get that. And I get that in the sense of like, whatever. Maybe it's a different relationship, right? It's a different dynamic. I don't want to judge you. But for me, I want to be with you all the time. You know what I mean? Like that you're my homie. We're friends, right? Like,
yeah.
I want to be with you and I want to succeed with you. And then for that, like my work-life balance is to see you all the time, but also be productive, make money, get it together. So it's like, I don't know. When I was selling my shoes, I guess is the moment that it was like, yeah,
that it's real.
I gotta do this.
Say bye to Chris. Oh, I thought he was leaving.
Oh, damn, dude. Is this like what? We've been on the mic for like 3 hours?
I don't know how long.
Oh shit, we got Junior in the building, dog. Wow, it's a movie.
Babe, we're still rolling.
Oh, we're still in it?
Yeah, we're still
oh my
very
God,
much.
that was like a rap or something.
No,
All right,
no, no.
All right,
It's
go ahead,
not
go
a
ahead.
rap. It's not a rap. I felt like we talked about a bunch of different things. We went into a bunch of different points. Kind of want to end something that makes me really proud, and I've always loved about our relationship. And Chris said it down there when we took a picture of, oh, you guys look like a power couple. And I've always wanted a partner who was supportive about my career, because my career is not easy, and there's high seasons and there are low seasons in this career, and I think you're still trying to understand it and get it, and you do, because my industry and your industry are so alike in so many different ways.
Completely different and
very,
like identical.
Yeah. So I kind of want to touch a little bit on that, on like power couple and like what that means to you, because to me it's someone, we support each other through it all. Like I always say that I will support you. Like someone can come up to me and say, yo, he just hit someone with his car, and I'll be like, first of all, I didn't see it. It didn't happen. Allegedly. Like
Yeah.
it didn't happen.
Because
But-
you're saying it.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Like I have no
But
idea.
If I did see it, I'd be like,
Allegedly.
they deserved it.
No,
You know what I mean? Like,
allegedly. No, nobody deserves anything.
Yeah.
Allegedly. We're on camera. Allegedly.
Sorry, allegedly. But what I'm
Allegedly.
saying
Yeah,
is that
yeah.
for me, a power couple is you support each other through the ins and the outs, through the highs of the relationships, through the downs.
No, 1,000.
We are with each other in so many different aspects, relationship wise, but also now kind of getting into a little bit of business together and that. And
I wanted it before I thought I wanted it, and then when I realized that I wanted it, again, double down again or all in. For me, I want a partner, right? And I want legacy, and it's gonna happen with you. You know what I mean? That's the choice that I made and you made with me, and we're gonna get it in. So, yeah, I want to succeed in all aspects of life, and I'm gonna be my happiest when I'm with the people that I love the most and closest, and you're number one. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, yeah, dude, let's get into business, do all this, take over the world. Like, that's the whole point. That's the plan. Like, there's no other alternative. That's what we're doing. So, yeah, maybe we exude that because in my head it's facts.
yeah.
I'm only crying now because you're crying. Like, there's no reason for me to cry.
No, I cry because it's just like, I don't know. It's gonna sound so.
And why is that too? Like, why is it when you see somebody cry, you cry too?
Because we have feelings.
All right, we're empathetic. It's like when somebody yawns.
Yeah, I think I cry because I went through my fair of frogs before finding the prince.
Oh.
And I remember one day clearly sitting down, like laying down in bed and talking to my grandfather in my head, out loud. And I said to him, I had thought, there was a point in my life where I thought like, oh, I might just be single, like, and just like my career is my thing, and that's cool. Like, I can be that girl, and I don't care. And one day I like had a rough day, and I said to him, I just want someone who will support me like through everything in life. Someone who like is a family person, someone who understands my cultures. Like I went down a list with him of everything I wanted. And I think like a month later, you came into my life, and
I mean, it's dope. I mean, it's cool. Like,
it's just to say that
manifestation is real.
yeah, manifestation is crazy. I feel like I manifested you completely.
I believe in that 1,000% for whatever, for anything.
But I just want to take a moment, even though I do this all the time, to just like thank you for, dealing with someone
I'm not dealing.
No, but like,
You know what I mean?
Being,
I'm
being with someone who deals with the challenges that I deal with are not easy, and I live with this guilt.
It's lightweight.
But you bring this color into my life.
Let's do it. Don't start. I'm gonna start crying too. Then.
What's the movie, The Elementals?
When the crying family.
Oh my
and then
God.
they're all talking about like just sob stories.
Yeah,
and like,
no, when at the end when he looks at her and he's like, "Oh, I love when like your colors do that." Like your and you.
Yeah, when her light shines off of like the water, off of his light, and it makes these colors.
And
that's dope. That's deep.
That's you. That's like literally you in a nutshell. Of like, even though I have days that are like really, really difficult, you always find the positive in it. And yeah, I think everyone deserves to be in a relationship.
Because it is, man. It is. Any day above ground, I really mean that. Any day above ground is a blessing. And that sounds super cliche and all this, but like, I have to believe it. And another day we get to experience this crazy journey called life, you know? So, yeah, it's dope. It's dope. It's dope because I'm going through an inner dialogue in my head right now. But what is dope is that, you have a person that thinks the way that how you beautifully articulated about me. It's dope to have somebody believe in you and give you that energy, dude, because you need it, that energy. So yeah, it's a vibe. It's fire. All the kit, lit, right? All these things these kids say, dude. Oh my God. But yeah, it's amazing. I get uncomfortable, and that's not what this podcast is about. But yeah, when I get uncomfortable, I do this, and it's like, yeah, it's amazing that you have an individual in your life that thinks about you in that way, that is at this level, and that we can share this bond this intimately, right? All aspects of intimacy is expressed, so it's dope. Yeah, that's crazy. I'm very. It's amazing. You man, I don't know. You continue. Thank you for that, and I love you very, very much. And I hope that you know that every day, like I just mentioned, that you give me strength, you give me guidance. Without you telling me anything, you give me guidance. You're like a North Star, because I want to be better, and you're the reason. So.
Thank you. Are you gonna ask us?
No. I don't think there's a better way to end that.
Oh shit.
I love you. Thank you for being on this pod today. I know that you were nervous and.
Well, yeah, because I didn't want all this to like come out. You know what I mean? Like, this is now documented forever.
It's just, and I wanted people to see this side of you, because I think that's important. I think it's important to be vulnerable, especially with the people that you love. And I just want to say thank you for being on this pod and for joining me today.
No, I love you. This is going to be amazing. It's going to be the best podcast. What realm is this? This is like
mental health.
But mental health and improvement and like
and life
and like self-love, and yeah, this is crazy. This is dope. It's going to be the best.
You heard him here first. It's going to be the best.